Hello everyone, this is Stephen Balch, your instructor for Intro to Computer Applications at Ozarka College. Today what I thought I'd do is give you a little bit of feedback on the Excel Module 2 assignments that I graded late last week, and then I'm going to tell you a little bit about Excel Module 3 and also kind of give you some information on our next production exam, which will cover Excel. Alright, so the first thing is, like I said, I did finish grading the Excel Module 2 assignments late last week. Overall, most of you did well on the assignments. I really appreciate those of you that are putting the time and effort in to doing the activities for this class, so keep up the good work on that. Now, there were a couple of you who are still having problems inserting the formulas and functions. Just make sure that when you get ready to insert the formulas and functions, that you're carefully reading through the instructions and making sure that you actually input the formulas and functions as it's specified in the instructions. Some of you are not really paying attention and you're getting the formulas and functions entered incorrectly. And then there are some of you that are just typing in the calculated values, which I've talked about in other videos and also in some of my other communications to you, that kind of defeats the whole purpose of using Excel to keep track of calculated values and so forth, because it doesn't update those values if you just type in the value itself instead of inserting the formula or function. So we need to make sure that we're inserting the formulas and functions and that we're checking the accuracy of the calculated values and making sure that those values are correct before we submit our assignments. There are a few of you that need to kind of take a little bit more time checking your worksheets. Okay. Now, when you find an error in a calculated value in your worksheet, there are two things that can cause that error, that inaccurate calculation or calculated value. Either the formula or function is incorrect, which would give you an incorrect calculated value. And in that case, if that's the issue, then you just need to go in and correct your mistake on your formula or function. The other thing that can cause a problem, cause a calculated value to be incorrect, is if one of the numerical values that's referenced in the formula or function, if any of those are incorrect, then that will also cause the calculated value to be incorrect. So on this Module 3 that we're working on right now, make sure that you go in and enter the formulas and functions correctly, and then if you do notice any incorrect or inaccurate calculated values, then, you know, look at those two things that I just went over that can cause that error. Again, you need to check the formula or function itself to make sure it's correct. If that's correct, then the only other thing it can be is either one or several of the numerical values that are referenced in the formula or function must be incorrect. Those are really the only two things that can cause a inaccurate calculated value. So if you just go in and check those and make your corrections to your worksheet, then you will have the correct values there. So as you're working on Excel Module 3, just kind of keep that in mind. You need to get to the point where you're able to input the formulas and functions correctly and be able to go back and check your work and kind of problem solve and figure out where the error is and get it corrected. And as you're working on Excel Module 3, if you have problems like that you run into that you can't figure out, just let me know and I'll be glad to help you. Okay? All right. That was really the biggest thing I saw. Most of you did fine. It did really well on the assignments for Excel Module 2, but there are a few of you that are struggling just a little bit on formulas and functions. So you just need to kind of spend a little bit more time on that and check your work. Okay, and just let me know if you have questions about it. All right. Let's see. On the objective test, most of you did well on that. So just keep up the good work on that. Let me know if you have any questions about the objective test. All right. So that brings us to what we've got coming up due for our next set of activities. So if we go to the activities page in My Ozarka, right now we're on week 9 of the semester. All right. And since we just had Excel Module 2 due late last week, we don't really have anything else due this week under week 9, but we do have work due the first day of week 10. So basically Sunday, October 20th, you've got the Excel Module 3 activities due. You'll notice there's only one assignment for Excel Module 3, and I did that on purpose. Normally you have 3 assignments, but on this particular module, it's pretty time consuming. It's going to take you quite a bit of time to get through that Excel Module 3 assignment 1. And that's why I'm basically counting that a little bit more points than what you normally have when you have 3 assignments for a module. Now, that being in mind, you're going to need to make sure that you get started on Excel Module 3 as soon as possible. Hopefully you're already working on it. If you're not, you need to go ahead and start working on it as soon as possible, because it is going to take a considerable amount of time to complete. It's not something you're going to be able to do, the last day, last few hours of the last day that it's due. So be working on it this week, and that way if you have questions, you have problems that you run into, you can let me know, and then I can help you on the Excel Module 3 help discussion. That's where I'd like you to ask any questions that you have. That way it may help other students in the class that may have similar questions. All right? So you've got the Excel Module 3 Assignment 1 and the objective test both due by Sunday, October 20th. So you've got just a little under a week to be working on those. All right? You also notice under week 10, you've got a couple of optional bonus assignments there that you can do in Excel. Those are also due by October 20th. All right? And then the last thing that you see under week 10 is the Excel production exam. And so we will have our Excel production exam available from Monday through Wednesday of next week. All right? Which is the 21st through the 23rd of October. All right? And I will send you more information, very specific information about the Excel production exam later this week. So be looking for that in your course mail and also on the announcements page. I'll post it in both places there. But basically, the production exam will be very similar to your assignments. You'll basically be creating a workbook with a worksheet with formulas and functions, very similar to what you're doing on your assignments. And then you'll also have a chart that you'll need to create based on the data in your worksheet. Okay? So, like I said, I'll send out more specific information about the Excel production exam later this week. And the only other thing I need to tell you about is I did post midterm grades last week. Hopefully you've already gone in and looked at your midterm grade. If you haven't, go ahead and do that as soon as you can. Let me know if you have any questions at all. It shouldn't be any surprise to you. It'll be whatever, it was basically whatever percent grade you had, and whatever letter grade corresponded to that percentage grade, based on the grading scale for this class. And so it shouldn't be a surprise, but if it is for some reason, just let me know, and I'll be glad to answer any questions that you have about your midterm grade. And that's really all I have for you for today, so enjoy the rest of your week and your weekend, and I will talk to you again sometime early next week. Thank you.